Before I say what I'm about to say, I just want to say this. I am not making any excuses for bad or horrible parenting. It's okay to talk about things that traumatized you as a child to begin healing. But as an adult, you cannot and you should not blame your actions or the person that you chose to be, you decided to be, or the person that you are today as an adult on your parents, because you have a mind and a heart of your own for a reason. You have the power of choice to be who you want to be. So your actions is nobody else's but yours. That responsibility is on you. The accountability is on you. Another thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately is like people are always saying, "Oh, you should have had a father around," but a lot of the times, most of the time, these guys run away because they didn't want the responsibility of being a father. It's usually, and I'm saying usually because I know sometimes women do push the men away, but usually it's just them making that decision that they didn't want to be responsible for a child. They didn't want to be a father. And the times that a kid is lucky, and well, I should never say lucky because that's not always a good thing. The times that a father does stick around, sometimes they end up abusing their own children, even sexually. I'm like women do the abusing sometimes too, right? So I'm not making any excuses for women, for mothers or moms. I believe that everybody needs to take accountability, but I think a lot of parents don't want to take accountability because they're so ashamed of the things that they've done and the things that they some of them still do. So when you talk about it, they don't want to admit it. They don't want to take accountability to you, or they don't want to admit it to you or anybody else because they're so ashamed. But your that's not your that's not something that you should be taking accountability for. And I could say for myself, when I was younger, I used to feel like it's like I was taking accountability for other people's actions. And I'm gonna tell you now, don't do that. It's not easy to grow out of that, but when you're young, it's okay. Like these things happen. You can't be too hard on yourself for having felt that way. But it's not your responsibility. It's not up to you to take accountability for something somebody else has done to you. That's on them. And because they're so ashamed of what they've done, or the things that they're still doing, they don't want to take accountability. Because some parents, they feel like they get to they get to abuse you no matter how old you get because of the fact that they brought you into this world, which is so wrong in my opinion. You want respect, you give respect, especially when your child becomes an adult. Show them the respect that you want in return. It's hard for a lot of people to do that because it's hard for them to have an open mind and just let go of wanting to be in control. They don't want to let go of wanting to be in control. But what you as a child used to hold on to and thinking it was your fault for being abused in any way is not your responsibility. It's theirs. And again, a lot of them are so ashamed of what they've done that they can't take accountability. Don't let that hold you back. You can break chains. I've done it. I don't have kids and I don't know if I ever will, but I know that I'm a better person because of my perspective. Perspective means a lot. Perspective is very, very, very important. Because if you don't want people to be horrible to you, why do you feel it's okay to be horrible to people? I mean, if I feel like somebody is insulting me, I will. I will. A lot of times I will say, I will respond. And if you feel like, even if you have to say something back to your parent who's insulting you as a big grown person, your parents is still insulting you. If you have to say something back, hey, go ahead and do it. Because a lot of times, like, again, if you don't put a stop to bullying, a lot of the times it will continue, right? And it's not right. It's not right that you have parents still insulting their kids, bullying their kids. It's all a form of bullying. Racism, that's all bullying. It's all bullying. But again, you take accountability for who you are as an adult. It's okay to talk about your trauma as a childhood to begin to heal. But your actions as an adult, it's on you. Whether you're a parent watching this, it's whatever you've done or whatever you're doing, it's up to you to take accountability for your actions. And kids have, well, I'm sure you're kids who are, who have parents, because everybody have parents, obviously. Like, if you're an adult now, you need to take accountability for your actions. You can't continue to blame your parents for who you decide to be. You can't. When you abuse somebody in any way, it's your actions. You're the one doing it. Nobody's making you do it. Once you're an adult, your parents are not making decisions for you anymore. You make the decisions. You have the right to choice. Again, you have a mind and a heart of your own for a reason. If you choose, you cannot do that. You cannot continue to blame your actions as an adult on your parent, on your parents. Again, like I said, I believe parents should take accountability, but you as a child, even if you've been traumatized, and most kids are traumatized by child from childhood, once you're an adult, you take accountability for your actions. Who you decide to be it's up to you. I know the work is not always easy, but it's possible. Don't just exist. Put in the work. It doesn't take any work to be horrible. It does take work to be a better person. You have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing. And if you're not, then who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? But you. Your actions are yours and nobody else's. You're supposed to take accountability for that. Sometimes we do things because of circumstances, we make mistakes. That's okay. As long as we learn and we're willing to be better. I've learned from everything I've been through. We all make mistakes. We all have made mistakes. But it's not a mistake if you continue purposely doing these things over and over and over and over and over. It's not. Because how many times can you do the same thing and expect a different outcome? Like, Really? Doesn't make any sense at all. But common sense is not very common. Anyways, again, your actions on nobody else's, or nobody else should be taken, should be blamed for your actions, but you. Another thing that bothers me is when people say, if you want to know somebody, look at the way they treat their family. That can be true. That might be true. That may be true sometimes. But when you think about abuse, a lot of people don't want to stick around. As soon as they can get away, they get away. So just because somebody doesn't have a connection with their family or a good relationship with their family, it could be because it could be because they were abused, verbally and otherwise. Think about it. Sometimes people even deal with abuse from siblings, aunts, uncles, pretty much any family member sometimes. So instead of saying, look at how they treat their family, maybe just look at them. Maybe just look at who they are. Look at the person in front of you and not everybody else behind them. The person in front of you is who matters. Hopefully, they're being honest and truthful with you. But that's the person that's most important to understand. Again, think about it and make it make sense.